The World Cup is back, and if the opening match is any indication, we're in for a wild ride. Hello and welcome to Sideline Story, I'm Tianyu. Mexico kicked off the 2026 World Cup with a 2-0 win over South Africa at the legendary Azteca Stadium. On paper, it sounds like a comfortable victory, but in reality, it was anything but ordinary. We got 2 goals, 3 red cards, a stadium packed with more than 80,000 fans, and enough drama for an entire group stage packed into 90 minutes. The first goal came just 9 minutes in. South Africa made a costly mistake trying to play out from the back. Mexico pounced, and Julian Quinones buried the chance. And just like that, the hosts were up and running. And honestly, from that moment on, you could feel the pressure Mexico were putting on South Africa. They pressed high, they chased every loose ball, and with the crowd behind them, it felt like the South Africans barely had a second to breathe. We know home advantage is a phrase we throw around a lot in sports, but this game looked like a real example of it. The noise, the energy, the momentum, everything seemed to push Mexico forward. And then came the cards. A red card in the 49th minute, and another in the 84th. South Africa finished the match with only 9 players, and Mexico's Cesar Montes was also sent off in stoppage time, bringing the total to 3 red cards. 3 red cards in a World Cup opener. That's absolutely unprecedented. And it also raises an interesting question. What does this tell us about refereeing at this World Cup? Because when tournaments begin, players and coaches are always trying to figure out where the line is. How much physical contact will be allowed, how strict will officials be, and how much influence will VAR have? The decisions in this game sent a pretty strong message. Whether fans agree with every call or not, the overall signal was clear. Reckless challenges and violent conduct won't get much tolerance in this tournament. And while the football was intense, the atmosphere may have been the real star of the night. You could hear it from kickoff, and the fans treat this like a national celebration. One supporter summed it up perfectly after the match.
It means everything. It means a lot. It's putting us back on the map. It shows that Mexico is present in the world of football.
And on the other side, there was disappointment from South African supporters, but also pride.
This is who we are, this is what we do, we're the underdogs, and we do perform better when we come from the bottom up. So I'm still hopeful. I was disappointed and I felt my spirit just like deaccelerate throughout the game, but I kept on thinking, you know what, I know it, I've been through this before, yes. However, the bigger stage, and who opened it, if not us, 16 years later.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about World Cup. Even after a loss, fans keep believing. And Mexico's players certainly felt the energy. Defender Israel Reyes said there was no better setting for the occasion, from the warm-up all the way to the final whistle. Midfielder Eric Lira called it a moment he would cherish for the rest of his life. And then there was Raul Jimenez. If there was one image that captured the night, it was him standing in front of a roaring Azteca crowd with tears in his eyes. When Jimenez headed home Mexico's second goal in the 67th minute, it wasn't just another goal, but actually the first World Cup goal of his career. That might sound surprising for a player appearing in his 4th World Cup, but before this tournament, he had never started a World Cup match and had never scored on football's biggest stage. And when you know his story, the moment becomes even more powerful. Back in 2020, Jimenez suffered one of the most horrifying injuries football had seen in recent years. A collision during a Premier League match left him with a fractured skull. For a while, people weren't talking about whether he would play again. They were worried about whether he would survive. The recovery took months, and the doubts lasted for years. Even today, he still wears protective headgear when he plays. And fast forward to 2026, a 35-year-old striker playing a World Cup at home in front of more than 80,000 fans and scoring the goal that seals the victory for his country. Sometimes, sports gives you stories that feel almost too perfect to write. After scoring, Jimenez pointed to the sky, seemingly remembering his father, who passed away earlier this year. And then the emotions took over. You could see what the moment meant to him. And the World Cup has only just begun. But already we've had controversy, records, unforgettable atmosphere, and the comeback story years in the making. If this is how the tournament starts, imagine what's still to come. And that's it for this episode of Sideline Story. The World Cup is only just getting started. And if the opener is anything to go by, we're in for plenty more drama, surprises, and unforgettable moments. For all the latest stories, reactions, and analysis from the tournament, stay tuned to Sideline Story wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next time.